Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
C'est autissement, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas bloqué nous. Quand il y a Sylvie, il y a quoi qui j'ai vous fait presse. L'Amérique n'a pas bloqué, t'as bien de moi avec moi au nous de. En ce moment, on va battre au moins néo. On t'a dit, t'as mouillé, on s'est battu pour moi, il Abela lókè yìí o. Kágun sọ dúró à. Ayé àwáyé láti ó lọ à. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀wọ̀n o. Ìyàwó Abela lókè yìí o. Níbi tó jọba yìí, níbi tó yànba, máa ti sì mọ̀ pé yìí o. Máa jẹ́ jíjí, wọ́n pè jamais forcé o. Si tu connais. L'animateur Choco Noska Yacine de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Liberian Radio. I want to thank you again. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a wonderful day to be here again. We say thank you, Jesus. Thank you. We're here again tonight to have a conversation with you. We ask that if you can share this video as much as you can so that we have other people from all over will be able to watch us. We appreciate it. Share this video as much as you can. Please share this video. Safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again for the wonderful, wonderful day. We want to thank you for your blessing. We want to thank you for all that you continue to do for us. My Lord, we place ourselves and our brothers and sisters in your hands. Your palm is so big that we're comfortable in it. Thank you. Thank you for the ability to guide us. Thank you for the ability to help us. My Lord, we ask again tonight. There are some brothers and sisters that are crying tonight because of some unfortunate thing to them. We ask that you step in, my Lord, and be the guidance. We ask that you step in, my Lord, and be the comfort to their life. Give them the peace, whatever it is that is going on. And we ask for that same peace ourselves because we are human beings. We are not perfect. But with you on our side, we fear nobody. We say thank you. With you on our side, we are grateful. With you watching over us, we are grateful, my Lord. Thank you. Thank you. This is just something that we all would continue to pray to you. My Lord, those of us that know you and believe in you. We know that you have the ability to guide and help. You've done it so many times. And so we're not surprised. All we can say is put our hand in the air and say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you for everything. My Lord, we ask that you bless the Liberia country. You bless the Republic of Liberia. You bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia, President Baka and his team. We ask, my Lord, that you're blessed and give them wisdom, the Liberian people. Please, we put every day that we pray, we'll put Liberia in your hand. Because why? You're capable of helping. You've done it before. My Lord, we ask again tonight, as we're ready to open our mouths and discuss whatever it is that we have to discuss, we ask you to come in. Control our thoughts. Help us. Whatever comes out of our mouth tonight, that it must be a decent proposal. God, we ask you, as we open our mouth to have conversation again tonight, we ask to take everything that has nothing to do with decency out of our mind. As we open our mouth, if there is any sense of jealousy, if there is any sense of envies towards our brothers and sisters, we ask that you divorce us from that. Give us wisdom. Give us the ability to speak our mind. We want to thank you for that as well. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks. Your power, not mine. You talk to me all day. You call me that now you come and make play with me. I see you, sir. I even see you. I even see you. I even see you. CWO, CEO, whatever. I even see you. I even see you. I'm not going to count this stuff I'll show you tonight. Anyhow, folks, on a very serious note, there are a few things I want to talk about tonight. And I hope the panelists will join us here. But there's a few things I want to talk about tonight. And they are very important. They are very important. Quite recently, we read on the Executive Mansion website where the President of the Republic of Liberia, President Baka, had constituted a committee to now come up with access recovery in Liberia. President Baka, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The access recovery team, they call them. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Well, it's very interesting. I'm trying to find the documents of. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think this one, where President Baka issued executive order establishing Office of Assets Recovery Task Force in Liberia. The executive mansion said, in an effort to restore credibility, accountability, and transparency in the governing process, His Excellency President Joseph Nyima Baka has issued an executive order number 126, effected immediately for the retrieval and recovery of national assets. The question that I have is, we have not done audit. The audit we did, according to the audit report, there was some issue here. So how are these people supposed to? I'm not a money man, so I just open my mouth, my brothers and sisters. But these people, they're going to act. I thought in order for you to recover something, you got to know where it is. Then you can recover it. But anyway, that's what they say. Let me read on. The order establishes an Assets Recovery Task Force and an office under the Minister of State for Special Service mandated to put into place the necessary legal framework for the recovery of assets wrongfully. You see, if we got to listen, we got to listen. Wrongfully acquired by current and former government officials. Okay, let's look at that again. They're saying, first of all, they're going to do assets recovery. Fine. So the assets they're going to recover, most likely they know where the asset is, so they're going to go get it. That man, total understanding. Then they say, but wait a minute. They say, oh, but not only the asset, but they were acquired wrongfully. They have not been charged. They have not been adjudicated, but they not assume. They are using language of guilt. This is going to be fun. Wrongfully acquired. Wrongfully acquired. I will come to that, but let's go on. These are things when we say people need to actually think before. Don't be like Samson told. You think before you open your mouth. Maybe tonight, I think people will challenge me because they want to put themselves on it. Okay, let's go on. Wrongfully acquired by current and former government officials. President Barker stated that the order is issued with the intent to retrieve, recover, restore, and reinstate fixed and liquid access from within and outside Liberia that has been converted to private use by unscrupulous government officials and employees who were placed in position of trust. Yes. Joseph Barker. But we're coming to that. You hear what he's saying? Oh? So he has evidence, I would think, that the former government officials were able, because he wants to retrieve, recover, restore, and reinstate fixed and liquid assets from within and outside of Liberia that have been converted to private use by unscrupulous government officials and employees who were placed in position of trust. So those people that were placed in position of trust, they have taken government money or taken government things that don't belong to them and probably took it out of the country and converted it into their own asset. The government wanted back. So in order for you to make those kinds of statements, you first of all have to identify. I just say, I don't say I'm the lawyer. I don't even money man, so I don't know anything. But the first thing you got to identify to say, okay, something, okay, right here. If I want to identify, if I want to recover something missing from my house, first of all, I got to know what is missing. I look at my clothes. Oh, my stomach beat like this, yeah? Who take the other trouser, or the other shirt? It ain't fit then. So my clothes I got on the ankle, 1, 2, they go. Who take it? Where you go? How you get out of here? How you go with me? That's the question. Okay. But let's go on. Okay. The decision aimed to address the alarming. Base alarming. You know what alarming means? Not concrete. Alarming. Waking you up, making you to be aware, alarming. Man, these people, in that kind of thing, you're coming, no, tonight, but it will be fun. It will be fun. Alarming. I'm using, and I'm underlining the word very carefully. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a money person, so I don't know what I'm talking about. You're talking about that. But listen to this. Listen to this. The decision aimed to address the alarming trend of government, of official converting public assets to private use while in position of power. How many of those people we got on the book that have been convicted? that have been charged, that have been adjudicated, and they have been found guilty. For us now to be alarming, because of alarming, you're going to set up something. The situation is alarming. They will find the evidence. Oh, we will put it out there, and then the people are going to go and do the investigation and find the evidence. If it is so, state so. If you think you're going to establish this tax force responsibility is to investigate, is to go out and find evidence, state so. But right now, you finish telling us there are assets out there that the people need to recover. So you already told us that there's assets out there they need to recover. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know both, but I got small sense. You know what? No, seriously. No woman crying here. Sensei. No, I'm serious. Ask anybody that know me. They call me Sensei. So I'm not just talking. I got small sense. They call me Sensei. That's my real crown name. But you know, Sensei, let me make it that way. Okay. So the tax force is authorized to retrieve wrongfully. Yeah, what? Then we say CDC, like when they can just use words as though you're using English language here, and you expect us to just accept it and say, yes, this is in place. No, we will not do that. We will go through it. And anybody want to challenge me, you please do so. Let me come. Let me go. So he said, the tax force is authorized to retrieve wrongfully acquired government assets. We have evidence of that. Do we have people already that we know wrongfully acquired government assets? We got the people. We got a list of people already. Have the Justice Department point those people out already? Have the assets been identified? Man, you're pleased, man. Okay. Yep. Let me go on. Okay. The tax force. Okay. Let's go back. The tax force is authorized to retrieve wrongfully acquired. Okay, folks. Let me take this one. Hold on. The one that my chicken ale, the Liberian Tabata business, she called me that my chicken ale, my daughter. What they do over there with their corrupt behavior, that's something for me to just kind of have fun. But with my children business, no Liberia over my children business. That one never forget it. You don't want me to do your show. You just tell me I will get out. But no, I'm my children business part. I don't play with people who know me me about my children business. So let me go on. My children, my girl. Because you see, because you're sure. So she had a job interview today that she was, I was supposed to take her, but I have a show to do. So I have to get a Hoover to take her. And I wanted to make sure that when she gets there, she called me that Hoover took us correctly. And so she just called me. For your business, for Liberian people business, I pay Hoover. I was going to be driving you. But I promise her, by next week, she will know how to drive anyway. So anyway, let me go back on to that. Folks, join me, stay with me. Samson told Liberian people, I'm running my mouth here tonight, but I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth. Let's go ahead. So it says, the tax force is authorized to retrieve wrongfully acquired, wrongfully. They say assume. They say maybe. They say we think. They say we thought. They say any other thing. They said wrongfully. That means they've already concluded. The conclusion is the people wrongfully. We have identified the assets. We have identified the government officials, and we have also identified that the assets they got it wrongfully. CDC will either one. CDC will either one like the how do you call it? Cookies. Your book people and your writing this thing. That's the kind of thing you think will stay. Samson told not even lawyer. They think can't even stand up in my Kesali quote. That in real court, they think will stand up. Man, I beg you, man. What y'all having fun? So wrongfully acquire government assets, identify and trace all. Oh, after they finish telling you all down, listen to them. You see, people, these people, I don't know what President Baga was able to read it because I know if he had read it, he probably going to say, don't put that thing. You finish telling us the people wrongfully acquire. Now you got now after you finish telling us they wrongfully acquire, that you're going to retrieve it. Now you come and trace something that you all know you're going to retrieve. But people, and I'm not even a lawyer. Listen to the one. Listen to the one. Identify and trace all stolen. They finish. Now they're all stolen. They're going to trace all stolen and suspicious. That now, after telling us that if you finish stealing and acquire, now suspicion coming. But people, yeah, phone like bro again. What? I will write something like this here. You finish giving your conclusion of your now bottom here is okay. Now again, I know the people not steal, but we suspect now. And now you're supposed to suspect here, and then you come down. But people, and that kind of thing. If also they want me to leave, I will enjoy myself. I'm enjoying myself. You think I come and leave? Listen to this. Trace all stolen and suspicious assets within and outside Liberia. Establish an investigative panel. And now they come and investigate now. After they finish telling us that they're going to acquire, they're going to retrieve, they're going to do everything people wrongfully acquire. Now they're going to do investigation now. You see where I'm going with this thing? And this thing coming from the website, executive mansion. So let's go ahead. Okay, investigative panel. Okay, outside Liberia, establish an investigative panel and constitute an effective legal research and investigative team to produce tangible evidence. But people, if I pass out, that just a bag of people maybe pass out. What am I saying? Oh my goodness. If you were the reason why I'm laughing is that listen here. In an effort to restore credibility, accountability, and transparency in a governing process, His Excellency President Joshua Nyamabaka has issued executive order effective immediately for the retrieval and recovery of national assets. Not only that, the order establishes an asset recovery task force and an office under the Ministry of State for Special Service, mandated to put into place necessary legal framework for the recovery of assets wrongfully acquired. Wrongfully acquired. Now, they call any investigation you. They're telling you they're gonna recover assets wrongfully acquired without telling us that they're gonna do investigation and identify. Then you can. Okay. Now look at it. Look at it, my people. You tell me if I'm not making sense now. You're going to recover something, but you identify you haven't even started investigation, but you say, I will recover it. What are you going to recover? Something to big share? Man, I beg you. But let me go on. I'm just making fun of it, but this is a very serious. The lawyer, those people are going to get hold of these kind of documents. And then when they come back and say you you are now witch hunting. They will show some of these things as being evident. Okay? So let's go ahead. Now, they're coming investigating. Constitute an effective legal research and investigative team to produce tangible evidence. It is also required to initiate criminal prosecution and civil litigation on behalf of the government. Return confiscated assets to Liberia upon adjudication. You see? You see all the things I've been saying? That now they're coming out telling me everything I've been saying. Oh, okay. And place travel and other restriction on all individuals identified as suspect while on ongoing investigation for stolen and suspicious assets. You know, when we were in school, even though I was doing engineering, but we had to write paper. And when we go to the English writing classes, which I really never really pay attention to anyway, but they would tell you the way you write paper. Some people will write conclusion and then come down to narrow, or some people will come narrow and go concluding bottom here. But if you're not even doing that, they just forget conclusion. They're not even concluding. The case is finished. We're going to go recover. They at the bottom, they're telling us now they're going to do an investigation. Okay? So the task force, upon urged to employ diplomatic and Interpol means to extradite individual identify. Wow, extradite individual. But anyhow, go and read it. Go and read about it on the website. But let's take it serious a little bit. So this process is happening in Liberia. Where corrupt King Kong then live. You see, their stomach is bigger than mine. They live there in Liberia. And you're going to do an asset recovery process. You know, with respect to President Mbaka, I believe in him. I trust him. He's very serious. And if Liberians take this seriously as well as he's done, by the time he leaves office, the structure that Madam Salih did not put in place, President Mbaka is putting the political structure in place. From what I'm looking at, his intent is to make sure that when he leaves office, the like of Samson that have no leadership ability can be president of the Republic of Liberia, have no issue. No issue. And I truly believe, let me bring in Sese Kwaya here. I truly believe that President Mbaka, what he's trying to do, if the Liberian people follow and accept what it is that he's trying to do, he's putting in place structure that will help us generation to come. Because if he put in this political structure, that will be the foundation of whatever subject matter we want to discuss in the future. I think President Mbaka is laying out the groundwork. He's laying out the foundation for all of us. However, it's not going to be easy because you're talking about asset recovery in Liberia, where corrupt King Kong then live. They will try to get you away all the time. And you know, in Monroe, when they say road, people try to block the roadway. Then you get you away, he can dodge you. That's the kind of thing that people will be doing. So the asset recovery team, why it is a good idea, Liberian, once again, Liberian must be brought alone, must be able to understand that it's not about them, It is not about President Bakai. It is not about an individual, but it's about a system and structure. Because if the system and structure are put in place, Liberia is going to benefit. Are you with me? Okay. So let me bring you in. Let me bring you in. But let me wrap this up here. Since please.
No. I was answering somebody. I didn't know I was not on mute. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. But no, that's okay. So the issue is Liberians, those that are going to be identified. The first thing, like I was saying here, I was making fun, but that was very serious stuff. The very first thing you're going to do, you'll stop nitpicking, just like I was doing with the writing here. They will say, oh, look at the quarantine, the people say from the beginning, then they come here now. They even do investigate. They will start nitpicking. As a result, they will come to the Liberian people. They will go to the Liberian people and say, these people are witch hunting. It's left with the investigators to keep your eyes on the ball. And at the same time, it has to be 2 or 3 pronged situation where the investigation is going that way. Those who are going to provide the information to the Liberian people are here, and the leadership is there to watch, to make sure no mistake is being made. Because one person is found not guilty, you got issues. If you identify, you use one process and identify, Liberia is not America. So if you're going to do it, you have to do it the right way. Let the people know that this is not about witch hunt. And let me bring Sissy. We'll be on it. We'll be discussing it. Good evening, Sissy. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope Terry can join me very quickly here. Go ahead, Sissy.
How are you doing?
Thank you. They call you here for a job?
Huh?
They call you for a job here?
Yeah. They call me. I'm going to be the Inspector General for MCSS.
Yeah, he goes. I walk right into that one. So thank you, man. What's going on? What's on your plate?
Well, I'm following you reading, and I know you're making fun because the document's a whole document. Not that you read part and it brought somewhere and say, hey, it's somewhere. It is a whole document. I read it in totality. I know you're making fun, but the CDC, they gave me Thursday 1 year because they didn't say how to answer recovery stuff. Yeah. Went into flat. It was the same process. And most times, that's how executive orders are written. They're written with a purpose and a scope. So, I get that. But one thing you do for fact, though, you see how it's been quiet today. Have you been hearing anything from Muyaville?
No.
Yeah, they say they're in the landlord problem. The landlord want you to figure
That's what I heard. But they have money. They should be able to settle that thing, man.
It's the truth. How many times have I said on this platform that we got political clubs in Liberia and not political parties? The Unity Party left office and they had series of issues with paying rent.
Mm-hmm.
Series of issues. CDC just left the system out. They already have issue with office space. We have to be serious in that country. I don't know whose authority it is, though, but I think there must be a requirement to own, I say rental, to own real estate and have some investment to be called a political party in Liberia. Hey, man.
I don't mean to interrupt, though. Those of us that have been around for a while now, in Minnesota, years ago, they used to have similar issue about owning a building. They were going at each other when they were trying to get help about owning a community center. I'm not too sure if that issue has been settled.
We've been owning our center for a long time. We paid off the first one. We now got a new mortgage on another one. So yeah, we are the only Liberian organization in the diaspora that can boast of owning real estate.
I agree. But it didn't come easily, though, because some of us were. When I was in Ohio, the issue was hot, insult upon insult.
Yep.
People, I mean, that was Minnesota war crime quote.
Oh yeah, well, that easy.
People who killed, how many people they killed, everything came out.
Yep.
It was bad. I don't know whether you were in Minnesota at that time.
No, I was in Texas at the time, but we all heard about it. And when I got here, the side effect was still there. If up to this time, there are still people who hold personal grudges about certain actions certain people take during that time. So it even morphed into a tribal thing and a sexual thing, and it became so messy.
Yes. But anyhow, thank you for joining me tonight.
On a serious note, though, Mr. Toe, we can joke around, but the CDC as a political party, not the collaboration, but the political party, the Congress, they had an identity. They carved out a unique identity in the Liberian political space. They were the masses people party, the downtrodden, the market women children, and they own that space for a long time. And I can still argue they still own a large part of their space. That the grassrooters is almost like the resurgence, but on steroids, of the Moja and the Suzuku and all of that time. A resurgence of that, but just highly boosted on steroids. So they had that political strength. They still have that. So how do you get from that kind of a power?
I can explain.
And you get to where you getting.
I can explain. Sissy. And this is a very serious problem we all have. Now, before that, Talbot and the two-way party, they had planned to have an election, I believe it was 1983 or something like that. If that election have happened, two-way party would not have allowed the election to go forward anyway because they knew they don't have the strength to win any election in Liberia. But what I'm saying here, after the coup, you kill 13 members of our brothers and sisters in Liberia because you said of corruption. And immediately after that, those people that were identified at the time as being Congo, because they were Congo and country. But those people, before less than 2 months, they started percolating back into the how do you call it, PRC. So if you have that, if you have people who are not part of your struggle, but because you think these people have a means of helping you, they will break you. CDC, on the other hand, were very strong, massive, grassroots. When we talk about, if you study politics, when we say true grassroots politics, that's what CDC was. But when they took power, you have the old boys club. First thing they did, they told President Weah to be part of the Masonic, what you might call. You saw that picture where President Weah was in the middle of all the Masonic society people. I knew then, way back, I knew that. I said, if you're not going anywhere, because when that group get hold of you, you're done. You're done. So when they got involved, I wish someday that I can go and look for I was on here. I was saying to myself, why would Monuba Molu take chairmanship when it was Monuba Molu who said if President Weah is not elected, I must be crucified? This young man, I never agreed with many of his tactics, especially when he came out, he said he met Obama and all that kind of stuff. It was a big deal. You remember that? Okay. But he was in the trenches. And I thought once CDC have won the election, that he was going to be closer to the president and be able to guide because he was involved. He understood the young people. The young people respect him. Whatever Monuba Monu said, the young people will follow. And I thought President Weah were going to bring him closer. But when they left him, and then they started going around, the liquor top came about. So this is their downfall. From my perspective, this is their downfall. Because CDC, there's no way that CDC should have been flogged twice. One time, yeah, you say, okay, Dallas Dillon, because from Montserrat County anyway. So and they used to have picture of Dallas Dillon, drunk Dallas Dillon. You remember those things? He was able to help flog them because many sedition were upset. Then the late Muna Peno came into the picture. She said, I've been watching CDC for a very long time. She said, we're not here. And then the rat, when cat is not around, the rat thing, they're going to do that. So she said, we will meet under the sycamore tree. And why are you guys not supporting? We will talk about it. It didn't take long. The illness started back on her. And she died. Once that happened, I knew CDC was done. Because she was one of the few among the sedition that could tell the president that this is not what the party is about. The rest of the people, what did they say? Baku, they were never into truthfulness. Oh, Baku, you're doing good. Baku, so that's the result of CDC. So CDC is now going to be like NDPR, do party. Going to up and NPR. The only reason why NPR is doing still because Julia Howard Taylor. But you will soon find out, and CDC is going to go down because even a president, we are trying to come back. Many of sedition, they're not going to just follow him like that anymore. So they're going to have to rebrand themselves. But I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me is when you have been in politics like here, you want to be a serious political entity that defend your philosophy, that makes sure your political ideology lives on for a long time, that is not just for a fleeting moment. Then you want to make sure that you are building institutions. And this is not just the CDC's problem. It is the Unity Party problem when we're in opposition. Now, I was one person I really thought that the CDC owned that property. Just to see a court paper today stating otherwise.
Yeah. I thought they owned it.
Yeah. So the question I asked today, one of my men started getting involved was, so what do we do with the Vocational Technical Institute that they were planning on opening there, the Muna Pena Youngblood Institute, that I don't know whether they even had teachers or not. These are the laughable things that people do in our country. So how then can there be in our lifetime another rising of a truly grassroots people movement like the CDC? People would be apprehensive because the last time we had this was before some of us were even drinking milk, the Suzuku and all the other places. It took a long time for the CDC to come back and rebirth that. So it's going to take another 3, 4, 5 decades for there to be another resurgence of a true revolution of the poor people, the downtrodden. And sadly, if you sit back and you read the pro-poor agenda as it was written, not as interpreted by the 500 people that didn't read it, it was a really good stuff on paper. It was very short on implementation because a lot of people didn't read it.
No, and they didn't care. They didn't care to implement it.
They took it as a battle cry instead of an ideology.
Yes.
That was the problem.
Yes.
They took it as a battle cry, not an ideology.
Yeah.
Take that same
blueprint.
Hands that actually read it and how to implement it is a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But take that and give it to people who are lazy and don't want to read anything and just pick one word and they use it as a battle cry. That was the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that's one thing I saw today that shocked me. And because we have to be giving updates, the MCSS did an update to their website overnight.
Okay.
Sonita now no longer has the XXX name.
Mm-hmm.
He has an actual last name.
Okay.
And then they took away Johnny Flomo and Paulita Kelkula, the one with the as a Taulo picture.
Yeah.
Man, they just took away the whole council.
Okay.
So
that's okay.
They took an entire day to do those two things. That was all that they did.
But what's about the language?
It's still the same. the webmaster took all day to take down 2 pictures
Yeah.
and to change one last name. That must have been a hard work, I swear. So when I was laughing at it, one of my boys said, "Man, maybe the only webmaster money they paid him, man."
Maybe, most likely. Most likely. Because the children then, my man, oh man, I'm not coming, Papa. I'm not coming right now.
The man say, "Okay, I'll take 2 pictures down."
Yeah.
So as they progress, we'll let the people know. But the thing is, stay in foreign language. So if you want to find out why you should attend Tomera, you got to learn foreign language to read that reason why you got to go to Tomera.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But besides that, let's talk about this asset recovery team with respect to political structure building process. I'm not looking at catching people as opposed to the process itself, the institution building process that is enshrined within this asset recovery team here. My thing is, if Liberians have the ability to follow and say, okay, yes, we're on board. I think this is, this particular assets, I know it's happened before. A lot of people have done similar stuff like that, but I hope this will be different. There are three now that I have. The assets recovery team, the pro-poor agenda that you just talked about, and the code of conduct. This was written, an idea by Liberians. The thing about it, is Liberians have the ability to dream of good things. But like you correctly stated, when it comes to the implementation part, they don't want to have anything to do with it. Because in order for you to implement something, you must understand what it is that you want to implement. But if you do not understand it, how are you going to carry out the implementation part of it? Nothing. It's the same thing with this road building business that I keep talking about. You don't know how to design. You don't know how to read blueprint. You're gonna be an inspector of a road construction if you don't know how to design, if you don't know how to read a blueprint. How can you be an inspector of a road construction process? You're useless. It's the same thing. So let's talk a little bit on this here with respect to institution building. Can you address that a little bit for me?
Well, I think, you like I always tell people, when you win with such razor thin margins, your governance structure and your philosophy of governing has to be a little bit different than if you won with a landslide. So I think that's one thing people have to take into account. Yeah, the president does not have to ask us, but when your margin of win is that thin, I think you have to bring the country along, and you have to sell your ideas, and with every little slip that people try to think you're witch hunting one side or the other, you have to think very critically on how you roll out stuff. But for me, I liked it when George Weah rolled it out, the assets recovery stuff, when they had Professor, Counselor, Dr. Arthur Johnson, and my own kissy uncle.
I don't know where he is now, though.
My kissy uncle alone, I gotta go to vacante. And then they had Serena Cephas on that. We were all hopeful, but then they just went away and he died, and Arthur Johnson resigned and he left, and that was the end of that. You can recall that the president Boakai had asked for, the former president George Weah, before leaving office, had mandated government employees to return government properties.
Right.
It wasn't done, sadly. Current President Boakai came into office. He requested the same thing, mandated a GSA to fund some of those things. Hasn't been done. And if you look here, the asset recovery team consists of the GSA, Ministry of Justice and Security Agencies, and other Liberians. And so the thing I read critically in here is that they're also looking at news reports during the dying days of the CDC government that folks were selling foreign diplomatic properties, Liberian diplomatic properties in foreign countries.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you read this, you would understand that it is targeting some of those things where people either sold diplomatic Liberian government properties or converting them into their personal properties. So when you start to read it, that's what some of those things are coming from. What they're talking about for abroad and home. So, and I think for a very long time, I grew up hearing the stories about when the PRC took over, that some Liberian property, government-owned property in America, in Europe, the ambassadors or Shashi affairs or whoever it was that were there, these true weak parties, people turned those things into their personal properties.
Yes.
And so we heard those stories, right? And now we also see that there were news reports that were happening. And I imagine when CDC came to office, there were also news reports of that happening from the people that were leaving the Salif government. So I think it benefits Liberia if all of these properties can be retrieved. It benefits Liberia because now we don't have to keep buying new properties or paying rent when we have properties that belong to the government but being used by private for private gains. So I really don't see a lot of things wrong with that. I think a lot of Liberians would be happy about it if the government took the time and actually explain what it was and not just leave it to an academic exercise where it's on a website and we talk about it, we read it, and that's the end. I think right after with the cessation of the war in the mid to late 1990s, there used to be this studio, Talking Drum Studio in Liberia.
Yes.
I don't even know about it. They did a lot of work about peace and reconciliation, or sometimes they're using to talk about diarrhea and other health issues and other pieces. They did a lot of work for the peaceful disarmament because they used to explain it in jokes, in what we call back in the day, playwrights and all kinds of things. They did that. So I think if the Bwaka government were to have similar things where people explain
exactly
why this is important to us, why is there will be people in the community now calling say, I know kitchen or somebody, another person getting a story from the government. There used to be a police station. There used to be a this because you get the people to understand that this is no longer academic exercise. You get them to buy into it because you explain to them why it's beneficial to them. The money government has to use to build one more property, they could use it for school, they could use it to bring medicine, they could use it to do this. So let's claim all our government properties so government can continue just being horses. You get the people buying, you bring the people along. I don't think there's anyone Liberian, CDC, Unity Party, ANC, or we the one who didn't go anywhere with a broom, we still sweeping. I don't think there's anybody who, regardless of their political affiliation, that would say we don't want government properties to be retrieved. I don't think so. But it's just the way you go about explaining it and the way you go about executing it.
I agree. I think the information aspect of that will be the killer. Because I don't see these people getting out of their comfort zone and try to employ just what you talk about. You employ people in different dialects and for them to explain. Because I think even if you just do that, the people will say, well, "Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true." And then when they're with you, you can do just about what it is that the people want. But they're not, believe me, they're going to just leave it, let it be moral conversation. That's it. Talk show conversation. And CDC and those government officials, because once they go up in the country, they start buying people chicken soup and alcohol and things like that. There was you go down there, they will start serious grumble. What you doing, my man? Then they crook, they remain expensive. Well, they are crook, and you're stuck. Because if you don't have the support of the Liberian people, they will use it. Those crooks will use it. Will use that opportunity. So I'm glad that you're also expanding on that. But let's go a little bit further on this access. Now let's go into the access recovery team itself. Do you think this government has the capacity to actually bring about, first of all, due process, a fair and free due process, and if those people are found guilty by the Liberian law, You think this government have the ability to throw people in jail because of this?
I truly believe that. I believe that, but I don't think the asset recovery is even an issue that's leading to jail. I think they're just about identifying and confiscating. I think the one that's going to lead to jail is going to be the
Economic Crime Court,
the audit, and the courts, and all those other pieces. And if a property has been duly recognized as belonging to the government and there's been court order to retrieve it, and then somebody decide to obstruct the judicial process, obstruction, I think that will be when you see people go to jail for 1 or 2 days. And I know some people will do that just because they want to be in the news, because in Liberia, it's a great thing to be arrested by.
Once you go to jail, you become.
Once you go to jail, you get your own, you can't sit on Facebook, you get your own platform. So I think some people will do that. I will caution the government not to make unnecessary martyrs out of people that just want to be, you want to be careful about that. Because I know there's a lot of people who are itching. They are leaving the public eye. They are no longer in government, or they are no longer in a higher level of a political structure. And some of these people like to be in the news over and over. So they have to be careful with those people. Yeah. So that's that. And yeah, my daughter had a birthday at school today, so
wow. Well, okay, but don't shut her up. Let her talk. The people know we got children. Yeah, we'll care for.
Who gave you? What is this?
That's Therese's birthday.
Oh, Therese's birthday.
Oh, okay. Now you know everybody's birthday. Tell her.
So, you with me? You say hello? Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Bye now. Go now. So yeah. So that would be the case. So I would think.
I bet you 20 years from now, and these kinds of video come up, you'll say that's not her.
But I will hope the prophet-ish strategy does not get used by the Unity Party. And I'm saying that because I really didn't know who that dude was. The first time I got to know who he was when the president talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I said, I really thought it was like a prophet, I mean, I know you say he preaches, but like old school kind of, I thought some old person sitting down, and just, I go, look, that's the first thing I heard when the first sentence of the holy smoke, I was out. But that's how a lot of people got to know about him. I'm saying this to say that the agitation of the government has to be careful with their responses. That was how Ellen Johnson Sirleaf managed to be a bone in the throat of the PRC, coming out of jail with a hand up and all those and stuff. That was how the likes of Deacon Carla and Gabriel Bacchus Matthew and the late Professor Sawyer and other people gained a lot more prominence when the True Week Party decided to respond to them with overwhelming force. Right. And sadly, our government from True Week Party time have not understood that.
No.
I'm hoping that this government will learn better and not allow somebody to use this as a means to elevate them. But that should not dissuade them from making sure that justice is served, that nobody is below or above it, and that everybody who has government property turn them over or they be retrieved. But I really don't see this thing as something that will lend people, that will actually carry people to jail. I think it's the other piece that's coming about the audit and all the other pieces that are coming with the economic crime piece that will get people to jail.
So there's this whole stuff that President Baka is putting to these little here and there. Is there also a serious warning to his team, people that are on his team, that if you don't mind yourself and take your hands in the cookie jars, once you get caught, that you will then be disgraced? Is that something that we should read into that as well?
Oh yeah. And people are playing, people are joking with that, but I really believe that the president is serious about that. And if you even read the asset recovery piece, he didn't just talk about past government official. He said current.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that was concerning.
He
What
said,
do you mean by
he said
current?
current and past.
I mean, you guys been in office not even 3 months yet.
But there are holdovers, right? And
Okay.
there are some people coming from Madam Salif time. so
not easy. Yeah.
You
One of the things that
so he's receiving all of his vision in his sleep. So he just operating the government in his city, and all the men that work, they get crying.
That CDC come back and they said the man sleeping. He read the. They're not going to sit down here. But one of the things that I like about President Baka is that he doesn't like to talk much. You saw how he gave Prince Johnson Huawei. And you know, it's to be honest with you, President Baka is not only intelligent, but he's an astute politician. Look at the way things are. People are saying that the Liberians and Prince Johnson will be angry because of the war. But look at this. The sons of Nimba is the vice president in this government. And you're going to come from Nimba to disturb this government? Where the vice president who stands a bit better chance of even becoming the president if the president is unable to carry on. And you're going to come from Nimba County in the village to come to disturb this government? I think that President Baka was just too smart for these people. It's unbelievable if you think about it.
But when people even make those kind of statements, for me, sometimes it really is troublesome. People really just believe that just a group of people that can just be led by the nose by a few people, or that they're just a group of people that just like violence, that for some reason the Nimba people or so we just jump on to violence. Nimba County was deprived of their share of the concession money during the Joe Weah administration. They cry about it. Now, one day, did they take to the street or go to Monrovia or do anything? So why now? And especially, like you said, now that their son is vice president. So people were just saying those things as scare tactics. It was the same people that say Prince Johnson were going to be the de facto president.
Yeah.
We're going to be the president in charge, and then the people are going to swear, and they're going to make and then Prince Johnson the president in charge, or in fact, the people are going to make it to the inauguration are going to create a crisis, a constitutional crisis. Again, people that refuse to read, because if they had read, they will understand that there was not going to be a constitutional crisis, just like they didn't read the pro-poor agenda, they just took it as a stuff. So now, the same man that was supposed to become de facto president, the same man, and these same people running around and say, oh, les papiers that ungrateful, whatever else, and now he's not answering Prince Johnson for. But I thought you said Prince Johnson was going to be the de facto president.
Yeah.
The same papier was sleeping Poyon. Now the papier in his sleep. He giving you who awake, you're crying. Somebody sleeping, you awake, you're crying. But
you know, as I said the other day, in as much as we make fun of CDC, but I think CDC coming to power is a very timely. And they not only were they, of course, they were inept, they were unable to govern, but their behavior exposed the governing process in Liberia to many Liberians. And so it's very interesting with this CDC government. But now they think I don't know how they're going to come back. I really don't know, because I don't see if President Waka wants to come back. I mean, President Weah wants to come back. He's going to have to purge the entire CDC structure. You can't bring the like of Jefferson Kochi them back. It won't happen. So they're going to have to find other means.
You remember I said this, and I like to always remind us when we were talking about this after the election, I say CDC will have to rebrand to have to rebrand. The CDC, as it was during the leadership of Liberia, cannot, in that same structure, take political office in Liberia. Cannot. They have to rebrand. They have to be renamed, restructured. And there are some people that will have to just sadly be giving NTR to leave the party in order for the party to move forward. And if it's not done properly,
do you think, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you think CDC as it is now and Flanty Kofa will still continue to be a good bedfellow, you think?
I think Flanty Kofa is a very smart politician. I have my issues with him, but he's not a fool. You saw how he ousted the speaker chamber.
Yeah.
So hate him or love him, I have my personal gripe with him, but the man is not an idiot. Flanty Kofa looks to be the one that's going to take over the CDC. But in order for that to happen, there's going to be growing pains. There are some major part of the CDC that will be cut off. And the new CDC, the rebranded CDC, will be led by Flanty Kofa. But there are people there that will have to be ostracized and sidelined and almost like their fangs taken from their mouth. And before that can happen. But as it is right now, there's a lot of black mambas. If you try to do that right now, they will bite him and it will be poisonous. So he has to wait. And
what's about your uncle? Are you with me, Sissy? No. Okay. Let's see. All right. Sissy is stuck. Hopefully he will be back. But what I was going to ask him was the like of how do you call it? What's his name? Tom Fala. Tom Fala seemed to be enjoying this. Are you there? Okay.
Yeah, breakable or hacking my assistant.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But we have it here.
Breakable hacking my assistant. So
I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
Tom Fala.
Whoa,
he seems to be very quiet now that he is deputy speaker.
Tom Fala is walking the chalk line. Tom Fala is walking the chalk line. The man is careful. Tom Fala know he can. He saw what Flanty did to the mighty speaker. He know he made mistake. It will be silent very fast and very quickly. And I can venture to say that Fala became a deputy out of a deal that he had to strike with Flanty. Flanty got more power. Imagine Flanty has been in leadership in the house for a longer time than Thomas Fala. And so I don't think Thomas Fala can go and argue the leadership and wrestle the leadership of CDC from the hands of Flanty Kofa, especially now that Kofa is Speaker of the House, a very powerful position. Yeah, I think. But look, one of the things I think Kofa will be smart to do is to give it time. Time is the enemy of most of the people who think the whole leadership, the whole strength in the CDC. When was the last time you heard my uncle Tamakoji talking?
Been a while.
Normally, when Morba Molu resigned, you would have seen my uncle sweating and yelling and wearing one of your Gucci suit and talking. That thing went dead. The thing people overlook is when you are further away from power, it has an effect. But what is compounding that is you are not just only far away from power, you have the most powerful nation on earth sitting on your neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kofa just has to wait. You not hear 12, 3 days last time you show all you were yelling, crying about his daughter doing homework and all the other things. You are coming, make sure you seek a day in court. We still waiting for them. They still have not filed their papers.
Yeah, no, those people, they got some serious problem.
So 12 go on the ground. Koji Digi, you know who to go down inside. Molu gone. My man at Camera's grade, a few days, he pushing Kino in Grand Kimon County. So, who will be there? Give it time. Who will be there to stand in front of Kofa and say he can't take over CDC? There'll be nobody.
Yeah. Again, folks, if you're listening, Samson to Liberia Public Radio, having a wonderful, wonderful time here this evening with Sister Goye. I'm not too sure why Terry is not joining us.
No, Terry and Brigable fighting in the
yeah, Brigable, they're having a good time. So let's go back. Let's take it into our intellectual forum now. Let's talk about this educational system with the MCSS. I understand their website and what have you is something that is not of good deal. But besides the website issues, what do you make of his leadership? Because most of the time he's not doing his leadership is not being done in isolation. All of the issue, they're on Facebook, and I'm sure you've been following them. So what do you make of his leadership style and the way he engaged his staffs and everyone else that are in MCSS? What do you make of that?
I don't see anything. I actually see a dismal performance. And if you want me to be truthful, it is very disappointing. Look, Mr. To, when you run an institution and a K-12 educational system, you need to update your stakeholders. You need to bring people along. You don't run a K-12 institution like you're running a beauty pageant where he shows up, there is a media challenge, and then the banner for the media challenge, a picture on it. Then you go. The next time you show up, he gave a speech at a kindergarten graduation. Then it's gone. That's all on their Facebook pages. When was the last time he really sat down to say, here are the professional developments we're providing for our principals, those people that he said that don't like to enter data, that don't like data, for our registrars to understand what the data is. They have a guidance counselor on the administrative staff. What are you doing for the counselors in the schools? What are you seeing as some of the things that are presenting challenges to the scholars and to the educators, that the guidance counselors are seeing that you need us as your community, your stakeholders to be aware of? He's never done that. He's never done that. When have you ever seen, forget about posting things on the website, like I told him I really didn't care. I just wanted the website to be functional. But imagine you, after first period test, you're looking holistically across MCSS, and you are looking at the pass and failure rates, and you're looking at the critical subjects that you've identified, right? Math, science, English, those critical subjects, right? And you are telling the people, before, this used to be the passing rate and the failing rate amongst girls and boys. And here is where we are right now. If it's a decline, here is what we think the decline is due to. And then we'll look at individual schools where the failing rates are higher, and maybe look at the teachers. And is it because we have a bunch of new teachers in that one school? What can we do to ensure that we are lifting the pedagogical strength of those teachers? And then you look at the schools that are doing really, really well and say, how we are going to take these teachers in these schools that are doing well and pair them in these schools that have younger teachers new to the career to mentor them. He hasn't done that. And those are things that we do here, that he's seeing happen here.
One of the things that surprised me about CDC professor, because when we were on a show together, one of the things that I used to ask him was, what are some of the things, if he was in charge, what are some of the things he would do? And just like you just listed. And I said, do you have the capacity? Will you be able to have the capacity? He said, even Mr. Toh, if I'm not able to, I have people here who, the school district that I work for, they can support me and they will be willing to support me. And in fact, one of the questions that I asked him the last time before he left was that, since you're going to be going, will you have these people to be? He said yes, they were going to be there to support the system that he's going to be putting in place. And I'm wondering as to whether he was not physically beaten, but mentally beaten by the Liberian system. Then the question then, even if the likes of Sissy Goyer were to be succeeding CDC professor, that perhaps you're probably going to face the same things. Is it not possible?
Nah. Again, this has to do with both experience and will to do something. Let me tell you something.
But he has more experience than you do.
Not in administration.
Oh, that's true. But he's been at the teaching business for a very long time.
Those are, again, let's just do this. If you went to Liberia, and let's assume the entire Liberian system is upside down, it's inside out, what's stopping him from reaching out to the same people that he told you he was going to reach out to? In his communication to me, he had the Alumni Association of MCSS is giving him some computers. He communicated with me back in the day, wanting me to help him establish a sister, a school district relationship between RCO school district and the MCSS. And the RCO school district is the district that I ran for to be on the board of. So most of the board members, they know me. I ran their campaigns. I've been advisor to a lot of them and a bunch of stuff. And the RCO is where a lot of the Liberian students go, because that covers Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn, a huge part of Brooklyn Center. I told him I didn't have a problem with that. I could make the introduction. I asked for a letter, an official letter. He said, I will get it to you. I was waiting for that letter. In the interim, we had an exchange about teachers being harmonized, salary being harmonized. We exchanged on that. And it was not even, we started on, I commented on the Facebook thing, he came my inbox, and we went back and forth talking about, I said in the net, because you talk about an insurance scheme, I said, people didn't sign up for insurance, you took it from there. In the net, people are taking less money home than they were before. My brother got in his feelings. I never since got a letter from him. He came to the United States, never bothered to get in touch. So you tell me what in Liberia preventing him from following up with the relationship to start with RCO? You tell me that. For me, I don't like to make excuses for people. If this is somebody who has never worked in an educational system before, and by the way, has his own schools in Liberia, then I would say, yeah, this person doesn't know what they're talking about.
But then that's what's going to be my next question.
Man has served, he has taught in this country for a long time, and not just anything. The man is a data person. He's a mathematician. So how then will you tell me? And he's telling me that he has this, they have the marking period test data. So what's stopping you from calling a press conference and talking about it? If you can put it on the website, even though you hire a webmaster. What's stopping you? Mr. Toh, are you telling me that if we heard that the MCSS is calling a press conference, that LPR will not go there and carry it live? Even if he doesn't have the money to pay LPR, we will beg around and pay, let LPR go carry live. But he hasn't done it. Or even take his own phone and go on the MCSS Facebook page and go live. Start from there. That's for me. That's my frustration.
So you think? Let me be ridiculous a little bit. Do you think the fact that he has a school, and I'm asking for speculation at this time, you can refuse? Knowing you most likely might not even want to touch it. Do you think because he have a school that is in his own hometown, you think that is interfering with his ability to run the MCSS effectively, the way you see things supposed to be?
I don't know if he had been running it better, and then it declined, then I would say, yeah, maybe there's something is the reason because I've seen better. But I've not seen better, so I can't say if he has the capacity or that something is the reason that he's not performing. I can't.
Okay. All right. Let me put a number up so folks can call in if they care to. Let me see here. Again, folks, Samson told Liberia Public Radio here again, having a wonderful conversation. That's one thing I like about this LPR. They you know who don't show up. Because as soon as you show up, all the people coming to start trouble. All the troublemakers then will show up with him. But he's not here. He's not here. We can have some real good conversation. But as soon as you show up,
the three
Hebrew
brothers coming call.
Yeah, exactly. So let me put a number up.
Lion Ted and my man, the big brother away, Keta.
Yeah, Keta. Keta, when I'm here talking, I'm enjoying my tabata. That the time he can come up and call Mr. So. Go on that show. The puppet talking too much tabata, and then Mr. So will come rushing.
I'm calling you because I want to force him to make that phone call. So.
Again, folks, Samson told our brother probably when I will not keep saying long here. We only got about 10-15 minutes the most. And then we're gonna call it quit. And of course, we'll be back again with Mr. Soul Show tomorrow. But while we're waiting for a phone call, Sissy, let's go a little bit into this. You sense educational is okay. Here we go. Okay. Breakable, what's on your mind? Breakable, what's on your mind?
Thank you so much for the show.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the show. You know, this is contradicting itself. You said the government should not make somebody will be popular or should not make somebody will be like famous in the country. But there's the same thing doing the CCC. CCC life power, you say you can rescue. Instead of discussing about your rescue plan or discussing about what you want to do or what is the message that you have to work on, discussing about government that is not in power. And discussing about just a party headquarters. Look, you got a long way to talk because look at what is happening in that country. Fire is all over the country. You got all of the power. Start going all in the country. You're not discussing that one. We're discussing about party that's less power. Look, even you talk about 500,000. If 500,000 can stop CCC for the party order, if 500,000,
so how come
why you have on Facebook?
How come they're kicking you out?
That's why I'm telling you, I'll put it if 500,000 can stop CCC.
Why you can't pay your money? Why they kicking you out?
That's why I'm telling you, that's the information. That information is false and misleading.
Okay,
it's false and misleading.
So give us the true story now.
The true story is not true. That is nothing like CCC or nothing like CCC or no nothing.
So they ain't
no CCC no money.
The court case are not true.
The president and the hierarchy yesterday was to the party order yesterday. They were at the party order yesterday. If you saw police people when they stop them, man, you gotta discuss things. The thing that happen in that country instead of we discussing it, you know, talking about party headquarters.
Mr. To ask them if the technical vocational school still open on the property.
Are you coming in?
Yeah, Tese wants to know whether you have a technical vocational school open on CDC camp compound.
Oh, that's a point.
It was a question.
Even the university in abroad, everything closed. All the university in abroad closed. Your private university closed. Even the grade school, they don't even start correct school yet. You see what he? Really? Power. Everything is shut down.
Really?
I know. Because of what? Don't shut everything down. Everything be shut down.
Okay,
So the vocational school do shut down.
All right, thank
So,
you. Thank you.
listen.
Thank you.
No, I come in. Don't stop me. You better talk. You better talk all your thing.
But Breaker Boy, that kind of show.
Wait for me. And I hear clear my job is locked down. Listen to you.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Listen. You got government that in power, that got issue. They not even fighting this. They not correct themselves. You got government that in power that even can't to themselves yet. You just hold it from one end now. You hold it all now. You bring as a declaration. You bring the other one.
Breakable. The one you're supposed to be thinking. The one you're supposed to be thinking about is they come and throw your people there in jail. If they find that these people are stealing, they're going to go to jail. You know
how many times have you not heard about this thing? When President William Power brought as a declaration, he brought as a recovery.
Okay, let me put on the other man. Okay. All right, Breakable, thank you. Why is it not merging? Okay.
Comment, Inspector. What happened to her? She was like going all from place to place, going from place to place. This whole goose that was expired. After 50 times, what happened? She went down. All those things that happened, almost like when John the thief.
Oh, Josephine David?
Yes. It happened the same way. All the things that happened, yeah, when you go on the 4 feet and they're on bench, when you put on the feet, running all around. Why are you doing that? When they start, the door settle. 3 months from now on, the door will settle. Okay. All the things you're talking there. The minute the inauguration form, it's not your prosecute somebody. Their own unified money share. They're not your prosecute somebody. That's who they're going to prosecute.
All right,
even the property case, the person refused for president to go to court. Then who's going to prosecute? They're just joking, man. What's happening for you with Liberia?
Thank you. Okay, let me go on to. Thank you. All right, good evening, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, Mr. Toh, thank you for the topic this evening. To me, it was good that you brought the topic up. But one of the things that you are missing on the topic is that those that were appointed to serve in the identical position to carry on the implementation. The former LACC boss, Martin, Councilor Martin, is here, and then the former financial and Ellis Coffee, who was heading the identical department financial intelligence unit with CDC. It's also advisor on the identical board. So there are key things that people are not considering. They is not get
let me put the other person on, please. I don't want you to go. Stay. Hold on, my brother. Okay, go ahead, finish.
Ellis Coffee was named today, and we are also appointed to serve on the identical committee for their asset recovery. And there are a lot of key people with integrity that have worked in the system before, and they are being appointed. And we are not discussing, you are only talking about what would be the outcome.
You said these people. You said these people that they're calling, they do not have the integrity to do that.
Had the integrity. No, I said they had the integrity because the former LS Martin, Councilor Martin, and Ellis Coffee from Financial Intelligence Unit.
Right.
They all have been named to be part of their process. So to me, we should also look at the important, because people look at it that it's a wish hunt. But what the people have did to the country in the past year, many people are saying that we should go back to Ellen Johnson Day. To me, it's better to begin with what we have now, and we compete, we can go back. But we can't jump for the leadership that just left from the power. They will say, went back to Ellen Johnson Day. They say the brother in your hand, we order I think you can ask your mother-in-law whether she can hear or listen. So they wanted to hear our hand now, don't deal with that fight. Maybe a CDC can buy tomorrow, they can go by and go back to Ellen Johnson Lee. Thank you very much, Mr. Toh, for the show.
Thank you. Okay, caller, Edward, you're next in line. Go ahead. What's in fact, let me just say that. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? Hello? Caller from Wisconsin, are you there? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The doctor, this is Roosevelt Dunn, Ambassador Roosevelt Dunn. I'm calling from Wisconsin.
Okay. Ambassador, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Like I
well,
said, every
thank
time
you.
when I hear you, I just think about that place where I stood with your picture. Your picture still on the highway?
The picture still there. What you want? You want to take it off?
Yes, shit. Hold on 1 minute.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 minute. The guy has a picture on the highway between Ganta and Second Pier. Big picture of his. But he did a wonderful job. The hospital he built, if you see the hospital, second to Tapeta Hospital, big hospital he built. But go ahead, Ormo, go ahead.
All right. I think the caller before the other caller that just left, I just want to buttress what he was saying.
You want to buttress?
I think the platform you people.
Hold on now.
Yeah, breakable.
You want to buttress breakable?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, buttress.
I think your platform is good. If you want to use this platform to support the Boakai government, I think you can do that. But my advice would be there are a lot of things that are going on just within a short period of time that the government took over. And Liberia is not yet settled. Things just going up and down. Those are the things that I think you should be discussing to be convincing people how they can settle down for the government. Instead of talking about CDC that already left power, you know. So it won't make any help for the government that in power now while you continue to talk about CDC. If for any other reason that CDC did wrong, that was a reason that they didn't vote for CDC. So it should not be reason for you to be discussing. What you should be discussing now, what Liberian people want to know, how far with this government are we now at this movement? Where are we going? What is going on? Other thing you know about, you're supposed to come to inform the public about, to at least today the platform, so we know some of these things that are going on instead of going after people that already left power and nobody want to even go after them to know some of the things that you're discussing.
Hold on, Ambassador, please. Just hold on 1 minute.
But what time I retired Ambassador Tatuna?
He's gonna come back in 2029, so he's still ambassador. Go ahead, Ambassador.
Yeah, I'm still here. We're still here. Our team's still strong on the ground. We're still moving.
Okay.
Yeah, so I expected you at least tonight to hear from you the trade that the Boakai teammate at least in Africa to be giving a briefing. What are some of the things that are going on and what are some of the things that we'll be expecting from the trade? If you already have information about the government, those are kind of the things that we want. But
okay, all right.
Discussing CDC right now is not helping. There are a lot of things. You know that tonight on 19th Street there was the fire incident there tonight.
Yeah.
Our concern now, why is there fire going all over in the country?
Okay.
So as you get a platform, use that platform and lead, talk some of the things. We the opposition, we're supposed to be talking about your government. You can't be talking about us. Okay. What you supposed to be doing is to be talking about the good thing that you're doing, at least so we will know that you convince us with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, let me go on. Sissy, please, I'm only going to take 2 more callers. After that, then you will wrap it up for us. Go ahead, Davis. Davis, you're next in line. Davis, go ahead.
Yeah, it's so valuable when some citizens coming on platform talking all kind of. I know that Tabata is talking. When Mr. Dan was on air all the time, you were talking about opposition. How they're going to be there 20 years. He didn't talk about it. Now he coming now. I know that now he went to school. He get new promotion. That's why I say they will not talk about that party. This is the reason. Some of the reason when there's something good for your district, right here, they rejected you because the party you join. And he say in that party, Tabata, you will not stay good, get one position in my country. I bet he. Let him be there. We talking Tabata. The people in my country, in our scene, they are doing better than he. Then he comes down then he put more. He are going independent, coming win. But by just going CDC, that one be in that way. And let me tell you, bro, the truth. What on my mind today? Most citizens they still get a little small money in their hand. When all the money is finished, they have yourself. Francisco is going to control them. They're going to control that summit. Because everything country will not be able to face security. Now he's dropping the security one by one. Now that crew that used to be behind him to go mine, or they're not there again. He reduces them because they were eating one bag of red every 2 days. You can't buy the rest of them no more. The goat meat they were eating now and now reduced now. They're going to like I said, now Fiama, then they buy the and Guinea cow skin and they bring from Guinea. That is buying now for the people. You reduce them because the problem.
They play putting you about tonight. I play foul. What?
You're not far. You're not far. There was you that pussy used to wear be passing on the street. You don't just get from now to November. Most of the people they will cross carpet. You will see some of them joining and you know the one position. Look at us though. You all out of a small effort. He asking for data. You're not giving them a just-left government administrator. In Liberia, we're making $3,000 plus US. Rent is $75 or something for good apartment. Then he's telling me now even get curry, 11 in your house. So tell me.
All right.
6 months from now, what's going to be done? As it do?
Okay. Thank you.
January, February, asking for data.
Thank you.
Then in November, then what do you will be asking for cell phone?
Thank you. Thank you. Let me bring Terry in.
Thank you.
And then we can close it. Thank you. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Vato, for the show you and Sissy. I think the seditions need to wake up because if they continue like this, I doubt it that next year, this time, they will be surviving in Liberia. Because if they can't pay their own bill, they were behind Unity Party that we couldn't pay our bill, blah, blah, blah. Now, if on them now, then they're talking Tabata. That was listening to Breakable and all of that. You know, you got to behave like a responsible party. Breakable, the reason why we're talking about CDC is because CDC, look at what CDC did to the country. CDC left us into a lot of debt, crediting money that, you know, they cannot account for, or telling us that they left 40 million in their account only for us to go audit. We finding out that the whole 40 million thing that was blah. So there is a lot to discuss about CDC. You know, the only fear that I have with them is to see them go down so fast. A great political party that could have shaken the political landscape of Liberia. The Liberian people trusted you. They felt that you were the best option for them. They gave you the power and you just lavish it and carelessly handle it. Then you get the audacity to come and tell us that, why are we discussing you? Why shouldn't we discuss you? We should be discussing you for 1 year or even more because of the damages you have caused in our economy. You know, you hire a bunch of incompetent people who couldn't even do the job to an extent, leaving us in deficits in many, many areas of our country. So, Breakable, you need to be discussed until we can get tired with you and until our country can come back to normality. You know, however, Pato, I want to say this and I want to recommend that President Boka take serious action in making sure that the ban on rubber be lifted. Because that executive order, President, we are invoked on the people, I think is an executive order that is training the rubber, you know, producers, the rubber farmers, those people that are doing rubber to make money to survive. You know, I think we need to look at that because it's very important to our economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry. All right. Yeah. Sissy, let me take the number down. Go ahead and give us the closing so we can get out of here.
I think people already touched on those things. It's you know, if Breakable and the ambassador believe that this platform is for the Unity Party government, then of course then it will be right. But one thing we do know is that the Unity Party government does not own this platform. So to tell us to tell you the things that the government is doing so that we can convince you, go to Kula Fofana. She's in charge of that. When the press briefing is up, go on that. They're supposed to sell that to you. We are here to analyze. Look, you didn't want people to call your name. You shouldn't have taken political power.
But why they run away? Why they run away now? Why they don't want to
disappear? We're not doing abracadabra here. We're not. They're not happening. We will not forget about you like that. Anytime you tell us, somebody asks you, say, "Oh, how your child doing in school?" You say, "Oh, they're doing better." You are referencing a past, because that's how you determine whether somebody is doing better or not. In order for us to know that we are being rescued, we got to talk about the sewage that we were in, which is the CDC government. We got to talk about it. That is how people analyze stuff. You look at things and you say, okay, we're making progress or not making progress. But for you to think that you'll just come in power and have 6 years of intellectual laziness and you think we just ignore all of the harms. The Bush tax cut, you remember the Bush George W. Bush tax cut?
Right.
They're still paying for it today in America. How many years ago George Bush was in power? We still talk about that. We still talk about the tax cut to the rich that Donald Trump enacted. We still talk about that. We don't say because you're gone, so we're done with you and your policy is still affecting people. Y'all just gave us a new math where y'all got, I don't know, 9 plus 6 or 3 is equals to 40. Then we just supposed to forget about y'all like that. Mama, y'all get tired hearing me, breakable. Every time we come on this platform, we remind the people about the mistake we made, the political experiment that we had that we should never have anymore in that country. And that political experiment was the CDC. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We will talk about y'all, talk about all of the bad policies and how y'all put us in the hole, and we'll talk about other people. And if they have bad policies, we'll talk about them. You will not tell us we forgot about you. Roosevelt, you have a whole platform. Last time I checked, you were there talking. You're the one passing around with the. You remember that pie chart that showed that CDC one that Kalasco created? All of you are posted. So why y'all got a problem with people when people talk about what y'all did to the country? I think what you should be doing is coming and tell us where we're lying. Right? There's a report out. The GSC report is out. Y'all come and tell us where they're lying. Okay, don't come and say, "Oh, we just forgot about y'all," and we just ain't happy. Let's just pretend not happy a lot. And this thing about paying your rent at your party headquarters, like you people in Unity Party, you're in the, you know, our Peking, we used to play a thing called bucket take a free roll. Who bucket take a free roll? That you're in so. They are buffet ground whole thing you're in where you can't pay your own party headquarters thing. You're in the Unity Party.
I'm not taking any more call. I'll call again. let's just say enjoy himself.
Remember buffet ground hole? I hate a minute off. So let them deal with their issues. But on a more serious note, now that I know my man Breakable Vele, I am still renewing my call for people who are in party leadership in the United Party, holding presidential appointments. This is not a rescue some of us thought you were bringing. Please, you can turn over the post. There are so many smart people in the United Party that can ascend to those positions and serve the party, so you can focus your attention 100% on the job that is at hand, which is serving the Liberian people in whatever position you've been named to. I am not here to say resign your position in government. I think a lot of you that got appointed to government deserve where you at. And then we're looking forward to you delivering for the Liberian people. But it will be very difficult for you to hold two critical roles.
Are these two gentlemen still serving Unity Party Secretary and Chairman?
They're still serving. And so I know my brother Amos Stewart is a young man, very talented, smart man. I believe the Unity Party has Deputy Secretary General. I believe my brother Yukin. I think if truly we believe that Liberia needed rescuing, that means the CDC government had done so many things that we need to focus and have all hands on deck. We cannot afford to have you dividing your time between serving the Liberian people and focusing on revamping those entities and also serving the Unity Party as a party. That is my one plea. We're starting this thing small, Just how we started with Aziz Aulo. If you ain't take it, I will put fire behind you. You cannot do that to us. So that would be that's my second plea. And I hope the people at MCSS realize that the work we're doing here, our advocacy, is to ensure that you are empowered to do the work you do. Educators are a dime dozen. Educators never get paid, not even 10% of their worth and what they deliver to society. And my work here is to make sure that you are elevated, that you have the expertise, that you have the resources. The only way we can advocate for you to have resources is to tell us what you don't have. I guarantee you, if my brother who has the MCSS can have a conference and tell the Liberian people, here's where MCSS works, here's where I think we should be, but here's where we are right now, and here are the things that stopped us from getting here. I will be the #1 person on this network and on many networks. I will pay to appear on shows in Liberia to advocate for more funding for MCSS. I went to school in Liberia. I never attended MCSS. But I understood when MCSS used to go on rampage because the teachers put down trucks. There was a time I was in Katira, the king of chunking rock, or in Apple, how to go hard. I understood what it meant. MCSS.
What was Katira? That's the one that was up the hill, right? Going to Dubai?
Yep. I understand back in the day, MCSS was the truly downtrodden and very smart people. And the teachers would lay down chalks. Why we were still going to Catholic school and private schools. Even though my papa was poor, he used to take 3-4 months salary one time just to pay my tuition. But there are other parents that could not afford to do that. So I'm doing this because I've seen it. And I grew up right beyond Tommy fence. And so ours is not because we don't like a particular person. Ours is to make sure that we want this particular person to lay down the problems that are there, lay it bare, and then watch some of us start to hold this government that we argue to come in power. Start to hold their feet to the fire, because the E in arrest is education. And the president talked about this, the Article 6 of the Liberian Constitution, which talks about access to quality education as a right of Liberian people. So we are forcing our brother to come out because we understand that bringing their data out, talking about it, will empower some of us to now hold other people accountable way up the chain, that will ensure that when we talk about education in Liberia, we don't ignore MCSS, we don't ignore public educations, we don't do those just simply because our children are going to private schools. There are a lot of things we need to hold this rope for that rope to hop in the bush. But apparently the rope being stubborn, and we'll continue to hold it until they can hold the other bushes so we can know what's behind it.
Thank you. Thank you. Sissy, thanks a lot. Folks, the last thing I'm going to say before I say good night to all of you, including Sissy, is that quite recently, Kalasco on his page placed how they call it, a roundabout that is on Liberia Junction, and we're congratulating the outgoing Minister of Public Works. And so Monday, I hope Monday or Tuesday, I will reset my studio here, and I want to show what a roundabout is supposed to be. That roundabout is not going to work. It's just too big. It's too big for you to be. And the roundabout, the way the roundabout are set, they're supposed to be like a 4-way stop sign. But instead of having a stop sign where the people come in, those who are supposed to be going a certain area will yield, and those who come in a certain area will continue. So they do it so that the traffic will be smooth. But not in Liberia for you to have that kind of huge roundabout. It's going to fail. And when you put that kind of money and they fail, it's going to be bad, because now you're going to have a roundabout that is going to be like red light. the traffic on the roundabout will be like the human beings in red light, because everybody would think that they have free line to go through, and it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess, and that traffic going to back up all the way to SKD Boulevard, and it will go all the way to how do you call it, the stadium. So, but I will come in on Monday or Tuesday to explain that. And one other thing, the road, Ralphie Highway, the area that is already paved, they have no divider. So they have 2 lanes, 24 feet. No divider. Another 2 lanes, 24 feet. What you said, 44 feet of traffic. And people are taking advantage, thinking that they have free line. They can just swell in anytime they want. This is not how it's supposed to be. That's not what they told us, you know. So we'll talk about those. I think I'm going to be stepping up now to do those things. At first, I'm still debating as to what I even want to get myself involved with these things, but I will do my best. But thank you very much, Sissy, and I will say good night to you.
Mr. Towa would say, if you stop, you will go Liberia, you will drive on that same roundabout, you will be frustrated. So this is not the time for us to say we're not getting involved. We have to hold people feet to the fire, especially when you have the expertise. I will be listening when you come on, and I know we all come on to learn. You know, you joke around a lot, but you have an expertise that is very much needed and in short supply. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Okay. Again, folks, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. We want to thank all of you that tuned in tonight, and those of you that call in, thank you very much. Please tune in again tomorrow for Mr. Social, where we will be here to have some discussion. And I'll be doing the conversation here about the roundabout on this Ralphie Highway. Let me just show something. Well, I'm not going to show you. I'll just read it to you. Something here very quickly. Just a roundabout from ETW to ETW, according to ISTO roundabout design, what the standard, okay? They have, it's supposed to be like what they have over there on Ralphie Highway. It's more than 400 feet almost, okay? It's big, it's huge. What you should have is to have the correct queue that you want. A single lane, they want you to have the minimum from ETW to ETW. That outside circle, if you split it like this, it's supposed to be 150 feet maximum. 2 lanes, which they said they're going to have. The maximum on that supposed to be at least 230. What they have over there is more than 230. If you have 3 lane roundabout, which this is not 3 lane roundabout, you're supposed to have 260, almost it's 260, okay? Entering width is 18, practical, you know, stuff like that. But I will explain all of that on Monday or Tuesday. Samson to Liberian Public Radio, I want to thank all of you, and then let's have a conversation tomorrow. Good night, folks. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. One last thing I want to say, let us continue to pray for one another. God is good, and God is real. Good night, folks.
Le père, votre vignon. Cadeau! Baimaloa! Ablenyoa! Anshatulope Ablenyoa! Mwana Kai Kai! Fond de Siate de Sebi! Suzu! We're not